Why does the EU flag have so many stars? Every time the EU destroys the independence of a European country, it adds a star to their flag. That's probably closer than the real thing. Police in Liverpool pulled over a local lad and were amazed to find the car MOT'd, taxed, tested, insured. It wasn't stolen and there was no stolen goods or drugs found. The driver was sober and he had a full licence and no points. A police spokesman said, "We had no option but to fine him £80 for wasting police time." And that's sort of funny because that's how pathetic the police have become these days. And you could quite easily see them doing that sort of shit. Venezuela has the highest world oil reserves. And you think it's about human rights or democracy? Zionism is terrorism with a bigger budget. I don't want to convince you not to vaccinate. I want to convince you to do your own research. Being awake is like being the main character in a horror movie, and you're trying to warn everyone but no one believes you. The news used to tell you what something happened. Then you had to decide what you thought about it. Now the news tells you how to think about something, and you have to decide if it even happened. It was considered the best photo of this century. A lioness and her cub were crossing the savannah, but the heat was excessive and the cub was in great difficulty walking. An elephant realised that the cub would die and carried him in his trunk to the pool of water, walking beside his mother. And we call them wild animals. Spot the difference. Venezuela, Saudi Arabia. Venezuela, democratic. No democratic. Isn't committing war crimes. Committing war crimes in Yemen. Doesn't sponsor terrorism. Sponsors militant Islamic groups. Doesn't execute political dissidents. Executes political dissidents, even children. Has massive oil reserves not under US economic control. Has massive oil reserves under US economic control. Venezuela. Think it's really about human rights? Wrong. Labour MP hits out at BBC licence fee increase. The Labour Party's Kate Hoey has hit out at an increase on the BBC licence fee, whilst the likes of Gary Lineker are paid huge salaries by the public service broadcaster. How can that be right? The licence fee is set to rise in April from £150.50 to £154.50. The third year in a row it has been increased. In the last set of BBC figures, it was revealed that Gary Lineker was paid between 1.75 and 1.76 million in 2017-2018. Absolutely ludicrous. Over such as Andrew Marr, Graham Norton and Jeremy Vine were also each earning 400,000 or more for that year. Claudia Winkleman was paid between 370 and 379. Labour MP Kate Hoey responded to the news of the licence fee rise by tweeting, "This increase is so wrong when the BBC is paying people like Gary Lineker such huge salaries." We'll come back to that. Winston Churchill was a serial paedophile who liked buggering young boys. Winston Churchill was a prolific paedophile who enjoyed buggering young boys, according to explosive diary entries. Sir John Rupert Jock Colville, former British civil servant to Churchill, exposed the former wartime prime minister in a series of shocking diary extracts. Truth News reports Churchill has had huge gambling, drinking and whoring bills, and Jock Colville claimed he usually insisted on ginger-haired prostitutes, so they brought him a ginger tomcat as a private joke. Churchill's Sandhurst file, the original and proper one, lists him as a confirmed sodomite and a menace to the younger boys, courtesy of Guy Burgess diaries. This waywardness allowed Churchill to be used as the bankers under the carrot of the stick, and the stick. You do as we say and you get paid X amount. You don't do as we say and we ruin you in World War One. Churchill took bankers' cash in the name of Colonel Auden, and WW2, his secretary, said several names were used. Mr. A. Connors was alleged to be just one. How Britain came to be in the EU under such disastrous terms was because Edward Heath was already a coprophilic. He would regularly take boys from certain care homes away on his boat for weekends. His sheets had to be perfectly white, clean, ironed and perfumed. Heath, obsessed with this, made the boat's name Morning Cloud the subject of many in-house jokes. Nevertheless, he was seriously warned 4 times by the police for hanging around public toilets. A special branch had to appoint a man especially to prevent him. It was Liberal Party leader Jeremy Thorpe threats to bring down Edward Heath and a big bunch of other politicians, which got him off the Norman Scott attempted murder court case. The name Mr. Eddie was well known on Hampstead Heath and the boys' home nearby in the 70s. They're all at it. They're all filthy, dirty, child-raping bastards. European Human Rights Chief ordered the British press not to reveal terrorists are Muslim in crackdown on freedom of speech. Report out from the European Commission against Racism and Intolerance blames increase in hate crime and racism in UK on the worrying example of intolerance and hate speech in newspapers. Claims Islamophobia rises when media reports were terrorists are Muslim. European Human Rights Chief has told the British press it must not report when terrorists are Muslim. The recommendations came as part of a list of 23 meddling demands to Theresa May's government on how to run the media in an alarming threat to freedom of speech. Do you really think we are leaving Europe? Sadiq Khan shared platform with 5 Islamic extremists. Women were told to use a separate entrance at the meeting which the mayoral hopeful attended. Sadiq Khan shared a platform with 5 Islamic extremists at a political meeting where women were told to use a separate entrance, the Evening Standard can reveal. Labour's candidate for Mayor of London took part with an activist. They're all terrorists, all of them. Italy's Salvini could be jailed for stopping illegal migrants coming to Italy. And if that ever happens, that shows you we're already under a dictatorship all over Europe, which we are anyway. And Macron, I can't wait till he gets guillotined. Deputy Prime Minister of Italy, Matteo Salvini, could be faced with up to 15 years of jail for stopping 177 asylum seekers saved by an Italian boat to disembark at one of the nation's safe ports. Salvini was placed under investigation by prosecutors in the southern city of Agrigento in Sicily in August last year. In late summer, the Interior Minister didn't allow the 177 migrants boat to aboard the Italian Coast Guard ship Dicotti, docked at the Catane harbour, to leave the boat in a bid to force other EU member states to immediately take in the asylum seekers, most of which came from Ethiopia or Eritrea. Now the Argentino court wants to put Mr. Salvini on trial for standing for 6 days migrants already weakened by turmoil joined by the sea. Only the Italian Senate can give permission for a criminal investigation into him, and he has written a letter to the Senate about why they should not allow the case to go ahead. Salvini wrote. I don't want to escape trial. This wasn't a possible crime committed by me as a private citizen or a party leader. Judges accuse me of breaking the law as an interior minister. In other words, this is a decision I could have not possibly taken if I weren't a minister. After reflecting on the whole affair, I believe the authorization to try me must be denied. Refusal of FOI requests at record levels of government discloses less and less information. But if they've got nothing to hide, they've got nothing to fear, have they? That's what they'd say to you. Amazingly, report has found refusal of freedom of information requests are at record levels. According to the Institute of Government think tank, government department refused to give up any information in response to almost 45% of FOI requests in the first quarter of 2018. Analysis of the data shows the first 3 quarters of 2018 had the highest proportion of requests withheld in part or in full, more than half since the introduction of the FOI in 2005. The Whitehall Monitor report released last week suggests reasons for the record level of refusal could include a lack of political support for FOI, as well as the departments being swamped with requests. In addition, withholding rates may be growing because data is increasingly already available to the public. Yeah, bullshit. That could mean FOI requests are seeking more sensitive information which government has legitimate reason to. No chance. Requests can be refused under 23 different exemptions. These range from needing to safeguard national security to protecting personal information. In addition, the law does not require information to be provided if it would cost more than £600 to do so. The Cabinet Office said the government's commitment to transparency means we are now publishing more data than ever before, except we're refusing more data than ever before. So you're actually lying right there and then. In that statement, they lied. As we do so, taxpayers will expect us to consider a range of factors including cost effectiveness and protecting national security. Oh, piss off, you lying scumbags. Calderdale detectives arrest 33 men as part of child sex abuse investigation in Halifax. Police investigation non-recent allegations of child sexual exploitation in Calderdale have arrested 33 men as part of an ongoing operation. The men aged between 30 to 40 years were arrested and a number of addresses in Calderdale, Bradford and Kirklees where searches found following an extensive police operation which commenced on 9th of October 2018. And they're not going to tell you what race they're from, because we all know what race they're from. Gerard Batten is away on what is happening in the Conservative Party. Theresa May will completely end the Conservative Party. You really do need to read this article from the Telegraph. How much longer will May carry on with her deceit? On the 29th of January 2019, the Prime Minister deception and treachery has been revealed. Sir Bill Cash MP asked the seemingly innocuous question to the PM in the House of Commons to reveal her proposed withdrawal agreement bill deal would overturn the referendum result and stop Brexit. In a question from this skilled lawyer and statesman, Sir Bill Cash exposed the explicit intention of the PM to introduce what she had referred to as the withdrawal agreement bill, which in reality would reverse the Withdrawal Act and the referendum result. Yes, you got that right. It will reverse the Withdrawal Act and the referendum result. The question asked in this precise way forced the Prime Minister to admit to the House of Commons that the intention of the deal was to overturn the repeal of the 72 Communities Act, the essential legal instrument which keeping us bound into the European Union forever. Her deliberate intention was to deceive the members of Parliament, hoping that they would not pick up on her treachery. How many more lies she has in questionable, especially now her treachery to keep the UK in the EU forever has been unveiled, clearly showing she never had any intention of leaving, making her pledge that Brexit means Brexit a complete lie. This means May's surrender document is not a withdrawal agreement or a deal, it's a treaty. It's for an associate membership of the new amended Lisbon Treaty. An associate membership means the government completely surrenders to the EU in all things, but gets no say on any laws or taxes or fees. Since the Lisbon Treaty was formulated and all its laws made by the European Union, it cannot be renegotiated. No country can renegotiate any part of the Lisbon Treaty, because when you sign up to it, you accept all its terms and conditions. So we need to get out. It's time that executions need to start beginning. And May's right at the top. Ben Gilroy is free. I've got no other information on apart from that picture there. So Ben Gilroy is free. Good on you, Ben. Migrant burglar who had sex with corpse jailed. When's enough going to be enough? We don't want jailing them. They need to be sending back, deporting immediately. And any family members or relatives, the whole lot of them need sending back. A burglar who had sex with a corpse after breaking into a funeral parlour has been jailed for 6 years. Kasim Kuram, 23, had sex with a woman's body after lifting the lid of coffins at the Central England Cooperative Undertakers in Walsall Road, Great Bar, Birmingham on 11th of November. Sentencing at Birmingham Crown Court, Judge Melbourne Inman QC said the crimes offend all human sensitivity. I am not aware of, and nor have I been able to find, any similar case. It would be difficult to think of a greater deprivation of the dignity of the dead, he said. Kuram of Kenilworth Road, Aston, forced his way into the parlour at about 3 in the morning while high on Mamba and PCP and after drinking vodka. I've told you what needs to happen. Deport him, every relative he's got, every member of his family, the lot. Send the lot back. Migrants pushed 3 16-year-old Germans in front of train. Mainstream media covered up the murders. 3 young boys were pushed onto the rails at a Nuremberg train station, Frankenstein, end of January. 2 of them were run over by the oncoming train and killed. German mainstream media spoke deceitfully of Germans in order to cloak the migration background. Furthermore, drivel about accident and tragedy was put out there, and the 3 16-year-olds fell onto the rails. The Nuremberg News specifically called the first offender that was arrested a young man. The Süddeutsche newspaper suggested that a fight between the youth had just taken a tragic end. 3 16-year-olds were falling on the rails and were caught by the train and ran over and killed. Except they weren't. They were pushed under the train by a group of migrants. You haven't had enough yet? Let's bring some more in then. Because that's what they'll think. Until we stand up and say we ain't taking this shit no more, they're just going to keep going. Italian MEP, the real fascists are in Brussels. I totally agree. The European elites are worried that anti-immigration parties will take over, said Lega member of European Parliament Marco Zanni to the Hungarian daily Magyar Hírlap. The EU elites are attacking politicians because of their stance on migration. The Italian politicians stressed that the migration policy of the Hungarian and the Italian government is supported by the people. Even if pro-immigration elites want to delegitimize these democratically elected governments. Zanni said that Italian Interior Minister Matteo Salvini wants to lead those parties who want deep changes in 3 areas: migration, internal security and economic development. His slogan is "Let's do less together, but better." Because Salvini wants more subsidiarity and national states to return to the EU centre. The MEP stressed that there should be effective cooperation in some areas like the single market. Everywhere's had enough except in the UK, where we're just saying, oh, Coronation Street's on. No licence fee. And this was on Facebook page. Someone posted how they contact the BBC, tell them they don't need a licence, and that's the letter they get back saying that you don't need one for 2 years. Why everyone's not doing that, I have no idea. Especially if you don't watch TV, which I don't. Housing benefit cuts put young people at risk of homelessness. Tenants aged 18 to 21 face exclusion from private rental market if stripped of benefit entitlements, say Landlord Association. The government move to exclude young people from receiving housing benefit could bar most of them from the private rental market, a Landlords Association has warned. As charities said, the decision could leave thousands at risk of homelessness. And the government said, that's the plan. Experts warned of fire risk spread to 2 years before Grenfell. Complainers express anger at 2015 Whitehall studies warning of risk in such buildings as released. See, the government know about it. They're just murderous, traitorous, satanic, Luciferian bastards. Experts warned the government 2 years before the Grenfell Tower disaster that not enough was being done to tackle the risk of fire spreading through such buildings and that lives were in danger as a result. Whitehall Commission studies produced in March 2015 warned of potential fatality unless officials addressed the dangers of flames passing through concealed cavities. Officials kept the advice confidential. Yeah, of course they did. Archbishop's computer contained over 100,000 child porn files. I don't need to go on, you all know about it. If they're in the church, they're paedophiles. And why we're not up in arms about this and dragging them out and locking them up or whatever, I don't know. Maybe we're too dumbed down. Express. Don't deny our little angel Ida the chance of to live longer. Boost your health in 6-7. Fury as energy bills soar again. When will enough be enough? Price cap hike row as Big Six make huge profits yet millions suffer in the cold. Because they can. No, there's no one telling them no. How are you going to? Because it's privatised. That's the idea. That's why they privatise it, so they could all raise it as much as all. Because it's another tax. That's all this is a tax. And as pointed out previously, all domestic homes shouldn't be paying gas and electric anyway. It's only commercial premises that should be paying gas and electric. But of course, they've been getting away with it for so long and double dipping. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a fight. But if you're up for it, let's start fighting back together. Let's end this tax on the poor, gas and electric. Liam Nielsen, shame. Why I wanted to carry out a race attack for rape revenge. The scum, dying for a poo. Exclusive, Danny Dyer's love admits drug binge. My coke shame, by Love Island Jack. Neeson in racist kill bid outrage. I don't see it as an outrage. If someone raped your wife or daughter, then you'd be angry enough that you'd want to find them and you'd want to make them pay. Aye. Women really are sharper thinkers. Men's brains shrink faster. See, this is bullshit again. It's pushing the woman thing again. I'm just too psychologically weak, Josh Widdicombe. Merkel's olive branch to the UK. Bullshit. German Chancellor gives hope that deal can be clinched if Britain and EU are creative and show goodwill. Suggestion that backstop can be tackled in parallel with negotiations about future trading relationships. Mrs May to visit Belfast today for talks with leadership of DUP and Sinn Féin as well as business chiefs. This has been planned all along, and they probably are going to come to some sort of deal, but a deal which will be treasonous to the British public, because what she's done so far is absolute treason, and any deal apart from no deal is treason, because with no deal we can say actually we're not paying you anything, we're out, bye, see you, so long, farewell. What makes you posh in 2019? Who wants to be posh? I still want out. Dean Kirkby talks to Sunderland's voters after the Nissan U-turn. Leo Kradowicz on how Brussels is backing Dublin. Body found inside Salaplane wreckage. I wish my gay conversion film wasn't needed. It's not. Is Ryanair really heading for oblivion? Waste of paper star. Daniel Lloyd. My fake boobs nearly killed me. Well, if they're fake, they're a bloody good pair. Corrie Star TV chat too smutty. Brit dies in exorcism. Hollywood sensation Liam Neeson in racist murder plot. Actors shame at week-long revenge mission to kill rapist. We can all associate with it. The Times. Tycoon gives record-breaking 100 million to Cambridge University. If he's got that much to give away, he shouldn't have it in the first place. Brexiteers reject EU concession on backstop. Tory MP snub offer from top Brussels official because they can see it's bullshit. Why women's grey matter, ages be better than men's. And the Liam Neeson thing again. So nothing in that paper. Mirror. Nielsen in racist murder outburst. Poldark on the tearful kiss goodbye. 600 a day quit job to care for loved ones. 1 in 7 now look after ailing relatives as cruel Tory cuts hit families. Or cruel government cuts hit families. Oh, by the way, they've just given themselves another pay rise. Just to put it in perspective. The Guardian. Minister under fire as secret 80 million Nissan deal revealed. The government should set out why the support was not disclosed. Because they're a bunch of treasonous traitors. Anxiety on rise among the young in social media age. Football research, body seen in plane wreckage. Telegraph. Nielsen, I was looking for someone to kill. Nissan Brexit deal puts Clark under fire. Leaked letter contradicts business secretary's assertion over financial help for car manufacturer. Children to be taught to fend off online abuse. Labour anti-Semitism impossible to stamp out. Yeah, piss off. Anti-Semitism's a made-up piece of bullshit by the Zionist scum. Women receive 157 times less start-up funding. Brace your back. Golf is now a contact sport. Himalayan ice caps to shrink around a third by 2100. Yeah, except you don't know nothing. Military uneasy over MP's vote on deployment. Daily Fail. At last, a law to protect children online. Yeah, I believe that, you believe in it. Exclusive. Ministers' radical crackdown on social media giants after spat of suicides. Race storm over Neeson threat to kill. Metro. Body found in plane. Megan Pell tortured in Saudi prison. So it's more important then because a friend of Megan's has been tortured. Whereas if it's normal person, it doesn't matter what make it. Of course, that's exactly what would happen. SJP goes from sex and the city in the city to the Lager ad. At Leah set 20 Labour MPs, 60 seconds with Dermot O'Leary. Anything but independent. The corrosion of British politics. Can the backstop compromise work? A breath of fresh air for women is lost. Fighting against boxing demons. Liam Nielsen, I walked the streets with a cost looking for a black man to kill. Ministers told to come clean on Brexit handout. Nothing in that at all. Financial Times. Banks pause is not enough to restore markets. Fighting Russian trolls on the front line. Piss off. Populism could survive for 3 decades. Year of the Pig. Chinese begin lunar holiday. May faces new pressure to rule out no deal as Nissan pledge revealed. Letter vowed to shield group from fallout. Text highlights shrink in thinking of Brexit.